Okay, so our story started off after defeating the what was her name?
Zella LaCroix.
Zilla Croy, I think it's Dalmatians. After we defeated her, we had to decide. The group had to decide what we were going to do moving forward. Zinrot thought about taking a step into leadership, but that wasn't the direction the whole group wanted to go, as we already had a mission ahead of us. Um, After the group finished up talking to some of the politicians, we went. They went back to the Shard. Uh, Bizlik, while everyone was sleeping, somehow got the card of many things
Hmm.
and decided to keep the deck of many things, which alerted Zinrot from her hoard.
Yeah.
What cards did you pull, Bizlik?
Um, one to increase my ability score.
Nice.
By
Uh,
2.
Yeah, by 2.
And also increase the cap by 2.
And then and then there was one that didn't
There was
do
another
anything.
one. It didn't do anything yet.
At
but
the
it will.
moment.
It will.
I'm
Hold
so
yourself.
scared about. I can't remember what the third one did because I drew 3. What was the third one?
Did you
I think-
draw a third one?
I thought you just
I
did
think-
2.
Oh, I did do 2. That's right.
The third one was
Yeah.
Zinrot.
Yep, 3 was Zinrot. Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
she
I-
drew 2 as well.
What was the first
Well,
one that I drew?
she was.
What was the first one you drew? Dang it! I should have wrote it down.
It doesn't
I know.
matter.
I know the second one ripped your soul, but the first one, it was something.
So when Zinrot found out that Bislik had it without knowing it was Zinrot's, after her enraged tantrum, the deck was handed back to her, and Zinrot realized that she broke an oath to the deck and swore to repay it and drew 2 cards. First one we can't remember, but the second one was a void, which ripped her soul out, and as her soul was being ripped out, she looked to Acteza, who was watching, and just said, "I'm sorry," as her body basically fell into a coma and her soul is now who fucking knows where
In some object on some plane.
of existence.
Yep.
I remember the other one, but yeah, the void canceled it out because it wouldn't matter.
And then the shards started falling apart as everyone started grabbing their things and retreating to the mansion that Zinro bought for the group. The kobolds, with Skeksel's leadership, was able to get half the treasury out, the animals and the hostages, before they disappeared. But they managed to make a small hoard bed underneath the mansion's basement, where Zinro's body lays upon before they dissipated, leaving just Skeksel behind to handle things.
Yeah, in one of these side rooms, when you go down the stairs to the cellar, it's on the right. It's another door goes into like a side storage room. That's where your polygold and body were laid to rest.
I like that.
The one thing I'll add was
Go ahead.
Zilla Corey. We didn't actually defeat her. She slit her own throat and summoned an entity in a robe wearing an emblem of the Eldritch gods.
Oh, yes.
That-
Thank you.
Disappeared before we were able to do anything.
Yes, that is correct. A yellow-robed figure wearing the necklace of an eldritch god.
And a lot
That
of
said,
tentacles.
it is quite time for this world to have. Well, I don't remember, but basically some kind of reckoning before disappearing.
To basically have chaos, right?
Yeah, this world has been long overdue for chaos, I think. What was what it said.
Yeah. And I think that's all I can remember. If anyone has anything else I missed.
Sakira devastated the royal chambers with
Oh, yeah.
some tieflings.
And Zilla
And-
Corey's cut off hand.
Yeah, and then
Wild.
as for the leadership of the kingdom, it has been left up to discussion still. I think that was it. So,
Yeah.
we will re-adjourn, well, right after the event of the collapse of the shard. The portal is no longer usable. The party in a daze, trying to gather their thoughts without much to grab, as both one, their friend has lost their life as they know it, and is now on top of their treasury in the basement, uh, laying rest among their dragon horde once again. Kobolds surrounding them in vigil. What is everybody doing at the mansion? I'd say at this point it's pretty much repaired. It still needs some fresh coats of paint, maybe here, there, some small touch-up jobs, but overall, like nothing extensive that the kobolds couldn't complete within the next day or two.
DM, is her body like in like a coma as far as we can tell, where it's like still breathing, warm to the touch sort of thing, just like vacant
I
expression,
won't make
or
you
is it
make a medical check or anything. Yeah, it's quite easy to tell when you touch. She's cold-blooded, and she still feels as that. You still feel a magical presence coming from her, and from what you can tell, she is breathing and alive, but it's like nobody's inside.
what time is it? As she's like frantically looking outside to kind of get a gauge. At this point, she's trying to figure out whether or not the Heroes Guild would be open.
It's about early morning. As you were all taking your long rest, it was interrupted kind of early along the way, I'll say, with the deck of many things, but long enough you had a long rest. But it is about, I'd say, 5 in the morning.
Bazelk, find Sakira, fill her in on what's happened. Skexel, take care of things here. I'm heading to the Heroes Guild. I need to know if they have seen this before.
Will do. As I see, Bazelk kind of slightly shifts into an animalistic form and sprint off to find Sakira.
Sure. And Skexel just says, Skexel will take care of Zinrot. Skexel trustworthy.
Kind of not even really hearing him. She's already out the door.
Yeah. Bazel, go ahead and give me an investigation roll as Acteza's making her way to the Adventurers Guild. Just to kind of see if you can track down, and you can use advantage on this if you want, like smell or whatever, if you have that.
Yeah,
Your beast form.
I'm trying to see what my preferred, my preferred terrain is plains, but let's see. Let's see. 15.
15? Yeah, with that investigation, it's not hard. You've been around Sakira long enough to know what she smells like. You can tell it heads towards the keep or the castle. As you make your way there, you clearly can tell she must be in the royal chambers. The stench of romance in the air has definitely caught you off guard. As Acteza, you arrive at the doors of the Adventurers Guild. You actually come right about the same time as the receptionist is there to unlock the doors. Oh, well, eager aren't we today, the hero?
I wouldn't say eager. Is any of the Adventurers Guild back, or is it just you?
Well, it's just me and the regular staff and the guildmaster.
What time does he arrive? I think I'm going to need his assistance. We just may have played something with the deck of many things that may not bode well.
Oh dear, the deck of many things. I only heard about that in tale, but the guildmaster should be here. Sometimes he likes to pull all-nighters and sleep in his office. I'll see if he's up there. Give me just a moment." And she leaves the door unlocked, and you're free to take a table or even follow her. And she'll head her way up to his office. After about a minute or so go by, yes, he's in. He's just getting dressed right now.
Thank you. Will he come out to have me enter when he's ready? As she's been pacing kind of outside of whatever doorway this entire time.
Yeah, he walks out, and if you remember his name, just for a reminder, is Olmus. Olmus, this gruff-looking human man, about 5'9", steps out. He's buttoning up his shirt. Yes, I'm here. What is it you need? It sounds quite urgent.
Zinrot pulled one of the cards from the deck of many things, and she immediately collapsed. Her body seems to be catatonic.
Well, I only know one card that does that in a deck of many things in my experience, and if that's the card she pulled, well, laddie, I gotta say I'm sorry, but your friend might be done for.
Well, I'm going to stick on the might part of this. Can you elaborate more, or are we going to leave this vague?
Well, I don't know every little particular detail, but basically, your friend's body is fine. It's alive, but her mind and soul are not there anymore. Basically, I think what happens is your soul's ripped from yourself and trapped somewhere. Outside of that, I'm not sure. All I know is it's hard to find them once this happens. Though, given what y'all have done around the kingdom here, I don't see it being a massive undertaking. Well, but I don't know.
Do you have texts here that elaborate more in detail of what would be needed?
Well, unfortunately, our supply of knowledge here is not quite that good. But if you head over to the main capital of our Adventurers Guild in Ekrin, they definitely would have the knowledge.
So be it.
That's honestly where we borrow our tomes from. We honestly loan them out and then have to send them back every month.
Well, I thank you for the information you could provide. Since
Sure.
I'm here, it sounds you already know of what we've done here. Have we ranked up?
Well, it wasn't an official guild's quest, but given the circumstances and everything, I'd say you're quite on the way to being gold. I can't exactly just approve you without having at least some kind of silver quest under your belt, but I can at least put in the word so you only have to complete one more for it.
We'll take what we can get. And should kind of give
That sounds good to me.
a good day, and kind of at this point she's a little bit more short. And then we'll proceed out to try and track down Bazelk and Sakira.
Sure. Bazelk, at this point, you're able to find Sakira with some banging and knocking and some unsightly scenes. You find her as usually, per the course, naked. I was hoping they'd be back or joined in by now, but we'll make it do.
Well, you could do it to where maybe Bazelk tracked them to that location, but they already left, maybe.
Yeah.
And you could always just bring them in later.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think
Yeah.
after a long night of some love making, they went on around the town. So you were able to track them down, but you were just short of missing them.
Bazilk leaves and goes to find Acteza.
Okay. Yeah, I would say it doesn't take much effort for y'all to reconvene back in the Noble District.
Acteza, I wasn't able to find Sakira. Think her and her. You see Bazilk kind of gag a little bit at the memory of the smell. Certainly had a night, but does not seem like there anymore. I lost track of the scent after fun.
I think I catch your meaning. The fragrance that you encountered at their last location was a little pungent.
Yeah, you could say that. Were you able to get any information from the guild?
Well, the little bit of information I was able to obtain seems to be worse than I could have ever predicted. The guild master essentially said that the card Zinrot pulled was one that rips the soul out of the body, so she'll stay in this catatonic state until we're able to locate her soul and free it from whatever imprisonment it has. But that's essentially the gist of the knowledge she has. Kind of like I had been worried about this entire time. We were playing with things that, one, we don't understand, and two, have little to no control over what happens. I think in our arrogance, because we were able to create the shard and obtain such wealth, we started to believe that we were untouchable, and we paid the price for it.
Hubris is often the downfall of man. But at least there's hope. You said we have to find her soul to bring her back.
Yes, and that's... He said it's very difficult. The only real indication we had was to go to, what was it, Eckersville?
Ekron.
Ekron. Let me write that down. To Ekron, where the larger guild house is, to get any sort of knowledge on the depth, because I don't even know where to start as far as trying to locate an imprisoned soul.
If y'all would both like either or can roll a history check to know a little more about Ekron.
It's a crisp 19 for me.
Good old 16.
Okay. So we'll start with Bazilk. Acteza, you would also know this information. Ekron is also one of the capital kingdoms of the of the nations. It's probably holds the most military power out of the entire world currently at this moment. It's been at a long-standing war with a lot of the Beastmen factions, but through this war, it's definitely bolstered up both its military power as well as its just overall political might. It's not. It's not as big as a trading empire as Amon, but it definitely holds more political sway over all the other kingdoms due to its might.
So they are not a fan of Beastmen.
No, them and Amon, as well as the third and final human capital of Astan, have made are the bottom southern empire of the dwarven, human, and elvish empire. Basically, most of the mortal races outside of Beastmen, Dragonborn, that kind of stuff, the more very fantastical races stay in the south. And Ekron's like the point of the spear that holds the northern line. So they are definitely like they have more sway over the others because of that position.
Okay.
You would also know that too, Acteza, as well as also them being the capital of the Adventurers Guild. They also are the capital of the religious sect. If you are going to find most religions, they are probably in Ekron, as it is the largest city, probably in Mercy that you know of. It holds the vastest military might, like I said, as well as their king, which you've heard of before, Sirius Karstein, has been in a powerful reign with an iron fist for at least 60 years now.
So, the undertaking we would need to go on for this is not something that I can decide without one, your consideration, but also Sakira's. It's not overly friendly to races outside of the more contemporary. It seems
I should life on the run. I think it's time for me to stop running.
as you say.
I will also add this: Amon was one of the final cities that had legalized slavery. That doesn't mean all other cities are completely friendly to tieflings, and that tieflings have all rights, but at least they're not enslaved and completely brutalized in most other cities. Amon seemed to be one of those last fronts. That would be common knowledge at this point.
Perfect. Well, in either case, I think we keep looking for Sakira if we can. But I don't know about you, with the shard disintegrating like it did, I did not get enough rest. So I may just head back to the mansion and rest up and assume that Sakira will meet us there.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I'll head back with you.
On your way back, you hear some odd rumors of a weird cloaked creature wandering around the the slums. Though it seems too fantastical. Some don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Some seem drunkard or drugged up. Whether these stories are true or not is probably up to fantasy. I will say by this time it's probably starting to be the evening dusk hours. I'd say given your investigations and your walks around town, a good few hours have passed.
Unless there's something more concrete, I think this is the point where like reality is fully sunk in with Acteza. So like she's just depleted, and while it sounds like it's something that should be investigated, she's going to assume someone else is going to look into it and head back to the mansion.
Okay.
As Tessa does that, Bazilk kind of restless over everything. He goes, I'm gonna look into these rumors.
Okay. Describe me how you're kind of looking into these rumors per se. Are you going straight to the slums? Are you asking around? Or
Kind of going straight to the slums and seeing if I, like, just walking through, seeing if I hear anybody talking specifically on, like, if this figure has been spotted recently. Kind of just
okay,
asking around as well.
okay. Give me just a nice investigation check. I won't let you roll. No rolls needed for the conversations, but just as for your search for the person or the
Uh,
creature.
12.
12. Um, so during your investigation, you're not able to really find any markings, scent, or tracks for this creature. There is an odd smell that you've never smelled before. It's a smelly smell that smells smelly, but you're not able to put your tongue or nose on exactly what it is. Outside of that, you do talk to people, and the most they say is that the creature that they've seen, well, has always been cloaked and has so far been attacking at night, or at least in the shadows. It seems to be very elusive at this moment.
He doesn't attack anywhere, like the same place, kind of all over the.
No, and from what you can tell from the stories, it seems that they always wait for one person to be off by themselves, away from prying eyes, either in alleyways or going out to take a leak, anything of that sort.
Well, we'll just kind of wander around the slums then.
Okay, we'll come
Specifically
back.
putting himself in those vulnerable positions.
Okay, we'll come back to that in just a moment. Um, Acteza, what are you doing to finish out this day?
As draining it as it is, she would kind of bring uh, Skexel up to speed on what information she was able to kind of get from the guild master, and kind of laying out that once they meet with Sakira, that they'll probably stock up to head to Ekron, um, kind of giving her blessing that the mansion is his to maintain and watch over the gold and
Who's
this,
Skexel?
yeah, and the sleeping Zinrot. Like, he was kind of already not vocalized to be doing that, but she's kind
Sure.
of articulating that this might be a more long-term thing that's
Yeah.
about to happen.
And he would agree. He promises to do his best. One for Zinrot in her memory, and then two for the party as a whole. He did grow to like y'all some even before he came to this position. So he would do his best to just maintain the keep. I'd say at this moment, when you get there, the kobolds are kind of talking amongst themselves. From what you can hear among the whispers, some are saying if they should stay, some are saying if it's even worth to stick around, and some are saying, of course we should. Would you interject in any of this?
I don't have the same sway that Zenrat did, obviously, but I will
Okay.
not keep you if you feel that it's not worth staying and waiting on a dream of a hope. But I assume you all became part of Zenrot's pack because you had faith in her and wanted her to reach her dream of being a god. And while it seems hopeless at the moment, I guarantee there's still fire in her spirit and she will return. So I would ask that you assist us in achieving this, whether it be maintaining here or searching in your own ways. And kind of like at that, you'll kind of like see her shoulder slump because the exhaustion's kind of taken her at this point. And she'll head up to one of the rooms to rest.
Roll me a persuasion. That was a damn good speech, but just to also give me a number.
Gave me
It's
chills.
a 16.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd say you definitely hush most of the dissenting whispers as you head to your room. Over the course of the night, I'd say at least about 8 of the kobolds take their leave, but the remaining 12 stay and uphold their honor to Zinrot.
Aw, yay.
Your speech definitely influenced them and kind of revitalized their morale. So we're gonna go ahead and start winding up the 1 week skip here. If you would like to describe what you would do during this week, go ahead and do that now. If not, I'll go ahead and do my thing.
Basically, the only thing I would have is trying to collect any other items before trying to head off to Ekron, assuming that's where we end up going. So she would go back to the magic shop to see, one, if some of these items are more in her price range. She would make a point of not touching any of Zinrot's gold, so it'd basically be the Pearl Power, Medallion of Thoughts, Ring of Spell Storing.
Oh, for magic items you're looking
Yeah.
for? Okay. And you said you're making a point not to touch Zinrot's gold?
Yep.
Oh,
So
okay.
some of these are probably still out of range, but it's just looking to see if our alliance with the merchant nobles and actually freeing this city had any impact on prices is kind of where we're at.
Okay, and which ones were you looking for? I think you got the Broom of Flying, right?
Yeah, I removed that one from my list. So the
Okay.
uncommon items would be the Pearl Power and the Medallion of Thoughts. Rare would be the Ring of Spell Storing, and then the other two would be very rare. So I have prices written, which I think is what they were before.
Yes, I believe I gave some prices.
Because the Cauldron of Rebirth I have listed as 20k, and the +3 Rod of the Pack Keeper was 5k. Or 15, that might be a 15. Which, if those are still kind of the prices on those, they're out of range for me. But maybe
Yeah,
if
I'd
those
say
uncommon are there.
Given your help, the shopkeeper, Aladdin, is going to be the name because I don't remember what the name was before. Aladdin, he drops his prices for his +3, like his very rare items, by 5,000, possibly more, but currently 5,000 we'll go with. So the +3 Rod of the Pack Keeper will be 5,000 gold. As for the rare items, the Ring of Spell Storing, he drops that down to, I'm gonna say 2,000. And then as for the uncommon, he drops those down to 500.
Okay. She would purchase the Pearl of Power then.
Okay, sure. Yeah, he sells that to you gladly for 500 gold. Thanks you for saving the city, and also gives you a heartfelt apology for the loss of Zinrot. I don't know exactly what happened, but I heard that the party is one less nowadays. I'm sorry for the loss.
Well, I thank you, but I'm still of the belief that she's not lost, just needs our help.
I believe so too. Is that it for what you will be doing during this time skip?
At the moment, yeah, because I think Bazilk might be the same spot too. As a lot of the fallout during this week is kind of contingent on interactions with Sakira.
Yeah,
Uh,
because she's the only one outside of it right now. But Bazel, during this 1 week, is there anything you'd like to do? We can add in things with Sakira on top of this. Oh, okay, they're joining now. But is there anything outside of that you'd like to do?
Zook will kind of go into the shop and see if the magic shop, probably a little bit after Acteza, see if there's anything of interest. Kind of more so browsing, trying to pass the time.
Okay. So you go to Aladdin's magic shop?
Yeah.
Okay. When you enter, he gives you the same deals as well, and specifically for arrows, even those are magical, he drops those down to about 10 to 50 gold depending on the arrow. And he sells those in bundles of 5. So if there's any arrows you specifically would like to add, and I've never honestly played around. I know there's those magical arrows, but I wouldn't count that as an action to put those in the bow or anything. So if you wanted any specific arrows, that's up to you. But he has pretty much an assortment of most of them.
I haven't actually looked at the magical arrows. Let's see.
do like the fucking Hawkeye where you like touch the tip and it switches to whatever thing you want equipped.
Oh, I love that. It's his. It's like on the part that he grips with the bow. He's got like a little program for his quiver.
And actually, we will get to some more of that with you because one of your cards that you draw will take effect here soon.
Or like the Judge Dredd where you just say what it is, where it's like incendiary.
Oh yes! Oh, now I gotta watch Judge Dredd now.
So,
Yeah,
I noticed Akira and Rayla have joined us at this point. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, yes, we have. I'm having technical difficulties, and I'm not quite sure why, but yes.
All right. Well, are you ready to get a recap real quick and get caught up?
Yes.
And how about you, Rayla? Are you ready? You're muted, by the way.
He's working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Just to make sure, because I don't want to have to give the spiel twice. Alright, so if you remember from last session, you were all facing down Zella LaCroix, your former master, Sakira, or I guess owner. You were all, with fighting tooth and nail, able to slay Zella LaCroix, or at least get her to slay herself, as she performed this blood ritual to summon a yellow-cloaked figure wearing the amulet of Eldritch Gods, which Acteza knew and had told the party. After which, the figure told the party that this world was long overdue for some chaos before disappearing in front of your eyes. After this, the party went and told the news to the fight that was going on outside, which summarily ended this long-standing internal civil war, we'll call it, with the tiefling and the rebel the spy army winning the day. They took full control of the kingdom, though to who the control belonged to was left up to debate. As the party took their long rest for the night, heading to the Shard, um, Rayla found herself acquiring a new dagger and began attuning to it throughout the night. Bazelk found the deck of many things in his hand and pulled, I believe, 2 cards. One went into effect right away. The other has not gone into effect just yet. After that, Zinrot noticed the card disappeared, and after some RP went down, it was discovered that Bazelk had it, but Zinrot believed the deck was angry at her for breaking her promise, so she drew 2 cards. One was not able to go into effect because the second one unfortunately ripped the soul of Zinrot from her body, and from what you're aware, put her in a coma-like state, where she now lays in the cellar of the mansion you had luckily acquired before the Shard began to collapse. With the Shard collapsing due to the loss of Zinrot's magic, you had lost your former outer plane home. Your portal no longer works. The Shard is no longer available. However, 500,000 gold was recovered. The kobolds came with you, bringing both the prisoners of the 2 nobles, which you still have in the mansion right now, as well as your pets and all your belongings. So nothing was really lost except 500,000 gold. As well as the deck of many things. Unless somebody specifically picked that up, I'm not sure. Then it will be lost.
I don't think anybody picked that up.
Yeah, so the deck was also lost to the void at this time. As the party made their way into the mansion, the kobolds took 500,000 gold, made it into a nice burial pile, and put Zinrot on top, leaving her on her dragon hoard to rest. While there was some dissent between the kobolds whether they should trust the party at this point or continue their promise to Zinrot, Acteza gave a glorious speech to them and convinced 12 of the kobolds out of the 20 to stay, while 8 returned to their homeland. It was at this point Acteza also made a promise with Skexel to watch over the mansion as the head butler when the party is away, and to take care of Zinrot's body. During this time, when all this was occurring, Sakira, you were up fornicating with 2 or 3 other tieflings in the royal chambers of Zella LaCroix's bed, destroying it ceremoniously, ripping the sheets and everything apart. It was a night to behold, as you then went on out into the town for a nice night of revelry and drinking with the tieflings. Rayla, I believe during this time you also escaped, and we'll get to what you've been doing during this time. But Acteza then, after all this happened, went to the Adventurers Guild and met with the guild leader, and found out that what did happen was Zinrot's soul was ripped from her body, and she is in a coma-like state, and her soul is somewhere in the mortal plane to be found. Where? The party has no idea, but further information could be gleaned from the capital city of what was it? Ekron. Some basic information that both Bazelk and Acteza were able to remember is that the 3 human capitals of Astan, Amon, and Ekron form the southern alliance of the mortals that face off against the Beastman tribe. Ekron is the spear point in the military might of the human empire. The human empire also encapsulates the dwarves and elves, be mind. But Ekron is that military might, and they hold political sway over the other 2 capitals. They're basically the capital of the capitals. After learning this information, Acteza has believe that the best course of action is to head there next for further information, but wanted to discuss with the party first before coming to that conclusion. Bazelk and Acteza also heard rumors of a mysterious being or creature that has been preying on people within the slums. And Bazelk, during this week, it's been about a week since the events of the last session. We're doing a little time skip. Bazelk went on a little investigation to find out what this creature was, but was unsuccessful, only knowing that it attacks the prey. It attacks prey that are weakened by themselves. Outside of that, there was some shopping done, some magic items were gotten, and Bazelk is currently doing his shopping right now. So I'm going to wrap that up, and then we will move on to you, Sakira and Rayla. We're doing a 1 week time skip. During this week, you can do anything you'd like, go shopping, or any of that. I will say, Sakira, you are unaware of what has happened to Zinrot at this point. You went on a rager of a party for about a day or a day and a half, and are waking up a little hungover in a bar within the city after
Oh, that's
celebrating
gonna
your ass off. So, Bazelk, I believe you were looking at arrows.
Yeah. How much would these arrows cost? As I point at arrows of like +3. They're very rare.
Arrows of +3. Well, given what you've done for the city, I'll give you a bundle of 5 of those for 100 gold.
I'll take 2 bundles.
Okay, that'll be 200 gold.
Zo kind of fumbles through his coin bag a little out of it and hands him the 200 gold.
Alright, thank you for your service and also for the help to this city.
Thank you. Stay safe.
You too.
Walk out.
As you walk out, as you walk out, you actually kind of trip over something, and you hear what sounds almost like a bucket rolling. When you look to the ground, you find it's actually a quiver bag.
Pick it up to inspect it.
It's a mimic.
Sure. Roll me an inspection.
Oh, definitely a mimic.
Oh, I swear to God.
You can roll Arcana, Investigation, maybe even Religion. I could say you could ask a god to help you with this.
Dear God, don't let it be a mimic.
Oh.
Please, God. God's like, put your dick in it and
Peanut
find out.
gallery,
What?
please, peanut gallery.
14 on investigation.
As for what this item exactly is, you're unaware without quality attuning time being spent to it. But you do notice that it is a finely well-made. It looks bestial, but also elvish made. It's made of wood, but also fine silver inlaid in it. It's a sturdy, but also very light quiver bag. It feels magical to the touch.
So we'll just kind of hang it off the side of his belt
Okay.
for the time being.
Alrighty. At this point, we will move to Rayla. Rayla, what are you doing during this week?
Yeah. I'll probably check in with my spy group and see if there's anything that they need me to do.
As you check in with your spy group, you go to talk to Agus, and Agus is still in the city, but the forces he had brought along with him are packing up to head back to HQ. Well, right now we don't really have any jobs, particularly. I mean, the group you're with seems to likes to get themselves in trouble, so that wouldn't be a bad idea to hang out with them for a time. I will say, as for the current leads that we had given you, they seem to have all dried up. Though, I've been hearing of some nasty rumors coming from the slums lately. Some kind of being of psionic energy roaming around down there. Could be an outer plane, could be an outer dimensional creature. We need to probably investigate that, though it seems to be of low threat currently.
I'm happy to, talk to my group and see if that's something that they'd be willing to help out with.
Sure, that would be great. Maybe something to get their mind off the current dilemma.
Very true.
So at this point, he'll kind of take his leave as they're packing up their carriages. Oh, and I'll put in a good word to Dragonthorn for you, okay?
Perfect.
You take care as he and mushes on on the carriage. Is there any shopping or anything you'd like to do during this time? Or will that be it?
I don't think so at this time.
Okay. I will say, as you've been spending this week, you feel this dagger calling to you more and more. It definitely, even though it doesn't have a conscience, I felt like you feel to yourself as you would have noticed this by now, but you can feel its want for souls grow ever more. And that's it. We will move to Sakira at this point. Sakira, as you wake up hungover in this bar, it's been about a day since your fornication. It's been a day after Zella LaCroix's untimely death and the creature's departure. What are you doing?
And she has no idea about that yet, correct?
No, you know Zella LaCroix. You were
No, I don't know
sober.
anything about Zinrot, right?
Yeah, you don't know anything about that, but you haven't checked in with the party in some time.
Right, because she's been celebrating with her people.
Yes.
As she kind of I imagine her just slumped over the bar as she kind of she wakes up and she kind of rubs her head ah, shit, what the fuck? I didn't know I could get that drunk. And she kind of looks around to survey the area, and she also quickly realizes you kind of see her kind of gasp real quick as she pats all over her body, and she goes, "Oh, thank God I'm still nude."
That's a prank they pull on you as they put clothes on you.
He's stupid.
She just wants to make sure that nobody tried to put clothes back on her, because she will not be restrained in any way ever again.
Okay. Yeah, as you take a look around, the bar's pretty much empty. There are some people, some tieflings, some humans that are passed out, still drunk, some hungover. But for the most part, it's a pretty empty bar at this point, being the morning hours.
Are there any tieflings in this bar?
There's one other tiefling. He is also waking up at this point from the party last night.
She's going to just get her bearings together real quickly and regain her demeanor, and she's going to stroll on over to that tiefling.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution check just to see how well you can kind of pull yourself together out of this hangover.
She's horrible at that. Come on, bitch. Ah, fucking hell, 5.
Yeah, the light The light is definitely hitting you hard. You have a headache. I wouldn't say a migraine, but you definitely have a headache. You do puke in your mouth at one point as you stand up, a little too sudden. But you luckily, if it was any lower, you luckily are able to swallow it back down and kind of keep your composure as you kind of stumble your way over to this man.
Yeah, and like you see her like catch herself as she gulps it back down. She's like, whatever it was we were drinking, we need much better alcohol than that. And she'll, with her headache, she's probably going to be a little grumpy, but probably nothing too different than what like I don't think the party would even like really know. She probably just looks like regular Sakira.
Yeah,
But
you
she's
being
still-
naked, it's hard to tell. Most stains wash off.
She strolls over to the tiefling and says, "You, what is your name?"
Oh, well, morning to you. Well, my name is Fidget.
Fidget. Is that birthright name, or was that name given to you by the oppressors?
I believe it was my birthright name.
Okay. Then we will keep it. Well,
He's gonna change his name.
Says, do you know how many of us are left?
You mean the tieflings?
She's like, well, yes.
Oh, a lot. I think a lot of us are left. I think.
It's good. I would like to gather everybody. What was your profession? Like, what did you do?
I mainly just dusted the windows and swept the floors.
Is he like is he like scrawny? Is he like kind of athletic looking?
He's definitely slender. I wouldn't say scrawny. He still has a little bit of muscles on him, but very much lean.
We will need to feed you more. Will you help me gather everybody?
Yeah, I could help.
It's good. I want all of you to meet me in the middle of town.
Sure, yeah. I'll let everybody know.
And she kind of like leans down and like strokes his chin and says, "Please don't fail me. I want every tiefling there."
Oh, right away. And he just kind of like what's his name? Paul Revere, just kind of running around the streets, shouting for everybody to meet you in the town square.
Sakira is coming. Sakira is coming.
Sakira's coming! Everybody meet in the town square! Sakira's coming!
Her flaps are waving.
And not in that kind of way!
I'm gonna like there's not like, just so you know, there's not any like shopping that she wants to do.
Okay.
While she's gonna give some time to allow for the tieflings to gather. She does want to go check in with the party to kind of see where everybody's standing.
Okay, so you're gonna check in with the party?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, given the time, with Vizelg investigating, I'd say the only person you really run into would be Rayla and Acteza at this point.
Okay, as she approaches the both of them, she goes, I hope that you slept a lot better than I did, although I don't really remember sleeping at all.
Well, our rest was short-lived. Let's just... Zinrot is in a catatonic state. The shard collapsed in on itself.
Acteza, as you say that, like the purple aura that normally comes off of Sakira changes to a deep blue color. As you see concern come across her face. She goes, what do you mean, catatonic state? She's fine, right?
Well, her body is.
Acteza, you speak as if she left. Where? What do you mean her body's okay? Where is she?
She pulled one of the cards and it's ended up being a one that ripped her soul from her body. We don't know where her soul is.
Take me to her.
She's in the cellar of the mansion at the moment, but you're not going to get anything from her. It's
Sakira, hearing this, she's gonna turn and she's going to go to Zinrot.
As you make your way down the steps, each one creaking under your feet, you see Skexel just standing by the door. He's already kind of opened it. As you reach the bottom step, you kind of turn to the right, heading through the doorway, and you see Zinrot just laying there peacefully.
Sakira approaches and she falls to her knees. She takes one hand and places it atop of Zinrot's body. And can she feel anything at all? Any remnants of Zinrot's being?
You feel the rise and fall of her breathing, but you don't feel the warmth of her magic. You don't feel the warmth of her presence. All you feel is the coldness of her skin.
Sakira, sobbing uncontrollably, stands up and, just for instance, like I know that this is an illusion spell, but she's going to do it anyways, maybe with some godlike magic, they become solid. But as she stands up, she casts minor illusion and produces solid gold roses and gently places them all around Zinrot's body.
Aww.
Yeah, and I'll say that the influence of her mother's magic comes through, and they turn to a solid gold for real roses.
She places one more hand on top of Zinrot's body. I know you're somewhere. I know you're somewhere, and I will find you. You can't be gone.
Just in this moment, you think back to the promise you made to serve her in her godhood.
Without saying another word, she turns and she leaves.
Okay, so it just gives a bow as you head up the stairs. Kobolds are all just kind of lined up in the room crying as well.
She marches up the stairs past them with determination in her stride. She's gonna head directly to the town square to speak with the tieflings.
Sure. Would anybody be following Sakira at this point?
Loke would probably be in the town square after hearing the ruckus.
Sure. Yeah, during your investigation, you definitely would hear this mad dash of this mad lad saying that the naked Sakira is coming and that everybody needs to head to the town square. So you would definitely head there. Anybody else?
Yeah, Acteza would at least go to see what Sakira's got to say.
Okay.
I would also go ahead and follow.
Sure. As you reach the town square, you can see that just about all the tieflings have been gathered. The remaining number seems to be about 150 tieflings. There were about 300 survivors from the onslaught, but about 150 were from the spy network, and the remaining 150 were from the tieflings. Some are still kind of wounded. None life-threatening, just small scratches and slashes that have been patched up. But everybody has made it to the town square and is awaiting your arrival.
As she comes up, she does not wish to stand before them. She actually will make her way into the middle of the crowd to be among them. And she looks around at everybody, kind of clutching her chest a little bit as she thinks of Zinrot and everything that she wants to do with this. She looks out. She says, "All our lives, we have been slaves. We have been whipping boys for too long. We will never be anybody's slave again. We will no longer be looked down on, talked down to, mistreated. I do not want to be your leader. I do not want to be your queen. I do not want you to look at me as a higher authority. I want to be your body. I want to be your voice. I want us to thrive. I want to teach you of a different God. One who made it possible for me to do the things that I could. I want to teach you the most wonderful dragon I've ever known and the things that she taught me.
Oh.
Do any of you wish to stay in servitude?" As she kind of waits for the crowd to react.
Nobody really leaves at this point. This is their home, and your party as their savior is just coming to them for their almost as if you're asking for their help. They don't bow, but they all nod their head in acceptance.
I would like for all of us to be our own people and our own village. I would like for us to rebuild, start things out new. I'm sure everybody here has their own set of skills. Farming, building, cooking, or as she kind of like looks around to see if she can find the scrawny one she sent around and say, dusting.
Yeah, he's like in the front row. He gives a big heads nod to that.
But if we work together, we can create a colony of tieflings that will never be looked down upon again. We will be looked at as free. Now, if everybody wishes to stay here, then here's where we will stay. Or we can leave this place and find somewhere for us to grow. But before that time comes, I do need a bit of help.
A lot of them shout out that they want to stay here. Most of them say, even though this was the place of their slavery, it seems that most of them would rather stay here as they're used to this.
And here we will stay. There's someone very dear to me that is missing now. Things could get dangerous. I would like to know how many of you would be willing to train and be ready to fight if you are needed.
Seeing most of them were part of the rebellion, they had already received some form of fighting training. But most of the younger men step up to this.
Very good. Getting my friend back will help ensure our freedom for forever. We will start when we can. What I would like for all of us to focus on is rebuilding and thriving. I will speak with my group and find out where we go from here. Please be happy, because this is the start of our freedom. As she bows at the tieflings and turns to walk away, kind of like eyeballing the rest of the party, hoping that they'll follow her.
So just for my own clarification, did you ask them all to follow and worship Zinrot?
Yes.
Okay, did you at least mention her name?
I did. I talked about...
In the last speech.
I guess, yeah, I guess so, because Zinrot mentioned that. Okay, then yeah. Yeah, majority agree to that. Some are kind of confused, not knowing if she was a god or not. But seeing what they did, they don't really question it too much. Though some will be a good majority will be waiting for some kind of book or teachings to follow, because there needs to be some kind of religion set up here.
They're starting a new religion, the religion of Zinrot.
Yeah.
Zinrothology.
Eat all the things and chase all the things. Live free, my brothers and sisters.
Commandment 1, got it.
Commandment 1.
Yeah. Does everybody follow Sakira as she leaves?
Yep.
Yeah, there's not a reason to stick around with a group
Okay.
of people.
Yeah. I'll say at this point, most of the tieflings go back to what they were doing. Not exactly the slavery work, but
I hope so.
yeah, not exactly that, but they go back to the jobs they were taught. Even though they were enslaved, some tieflings were taught how to trade, work, like be not exactly a full-blown merchant, but they followed around their masters for so long. They did pick up the trade of merchandise, like being a merchant and that kind of stuff. So as for the city picking up its normal activity, it might take a couple months to kind of get back up there, but for overall, the city can start to run as it once did, to an extent.
So
Just
they're
for that
basically
clarification.
Kind of like replacing.
Basically, they just replaced their masters since the tieflings are so integrated into the system of Amon. They kind of picked up on all the trades of the masters they worked under, to an extent. As for the alliances those people had made, that will take some time to clarify, which is why I'm saying it won't be fully running as it once
Right.
did. But for the most part, Amon is still a functioning kingdom at this point.
No, that's perfect. That's what Sakira was kind of like hoping for, is that everybody would just be able to like pick up and just rebuild where.
Yeah, I'm
Where
just
they
clarifying.
are.
Basically, that's what's happening. Though its efficiency has definitely been minimized to like 50%.
They'll learn.
Yeah.
As Sakira kind of leads everybody like out and at least away, like out of it's that like they're at least in a decently, I wouldn't say like secluded area, but just not a whole lot of people.
Okay.
And she'll turn to everybody and say, well, what is our next step? Where do we go from here?
Based off of what the
It's
guild
not music
master,
change.
More of a calmer.
Yeah, more just a chill one.
Okay. Let's bring this one back up.
based
Continue.
off what the guild master was able to give me, is the card she pulled traps her soul in an unknown location, whether it be another plane or just another. It's the trouble is locating it. I'm sure wherever we find it, it will have its own litany of issues, but the guild here is not outfitted with the knowledge to locate her soul. So ultimately, he more or less recommended going to Ekron, which is the capital of the guild, to obtain that information. So essentially, we've been sent on another quest if we want to get Zinrot's soul back, which to me would be the utmost priority, while I'm worried about the entity that spawned from Zella LaCroix's summoning. I don't see us boding well without our resident god, as you so eloquently put it. So my plan is to stock up and then head that way. I guess the silver lining, if there is one, is that the guild deemed that us freeing this city from oppression gave us a pass on one of the required quests for becoming gold status in the guild. Although I guarantee that doing this probably was at least a gold, if not higher, level quest, but I'll take what I can get. Bezelk has been interacting with the people of the slums trying to locate a mysterious entity that might be more pertinent to knock out before we depart as well. Bezelk, if you want to fill us in.
Indeed. I would like for us to at least take care of this entity before we leave. As the information that I was able to gather about it is it typically hunts at night and goes after people alone and weak looking. Any sightings of it has always been in a cloak, but I'm not sure how reliable those are, for I doubt that they ever saw it for more than a mere glance. That was the most information that I was able to get in the short time I was down there. Don't die on us.
Right.
I have this cough left over from when I had the cold last weekend, and it's gonna kick my ass for the next few months.
Yeah, I feel that.
I do agree that this cloaked figure should be taken care of, but you say wanting to take care of it before we leave.
Indeed.
Do we think that's wise? We don't know what it is. We don't understand what it is or what we're going up against.
But neither do they. The people of the slums, the people of the city that we just freed.
You said that it hunts at night.
Correct.
And it tends to target people who are alone and weak looking.
Yeah. Do you know what this could be?
DM, would I, from being close to, like, the fucking LaCroix, whatever, would I, would I know anything about this?
About the creature?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. Not particularly.
Since I do not know what it is, this is magic I've never seen, and to be quite fair, I'm pretty new to magic myself. But I propose two solutions. We can before we leave, bestow a nightly curfew. I know the tieflings will listen to me. Can't say about the rest of the population, but I know the tieflings would listen to my influence. Allow everybody to know before nightfall, you need to go inside and stay together. Nobody goes alone. And it stays this way until we come back. Or, counteroffer. And she kind of like gestures to her nude self and says, what looks more alone and weak than me?
I tried to lure it out myself a few times, but you definitely do appear weaker. Even though you are not. But I highly doubt this entity is aware of your strength. We could set up an ambush.
That is what I'm thinking as well.
I think that's the better option. Implementing a curfew in a realm that we just barely gave its freedom back to seems like a right way to lose what little bit of authority we may have.
Hey guys, you know that freedom you just get? You only get half that.
We changed our minds. Shut the fuck up.
And you know I'm one for always erring on the side of caution. But the fact that it's preying on weak and alone targets typically indicates that it's not at a level that it feels comfortable taking on anything larger. It's taking the easy targets. So presenting something that at least on the surface appears easy should at least get us to see what it is, because it may be something or someone closer to Bezelk that's just not in full control of its nature at this point in time, and we might be able to assist it.
Says I agree as well. We could, if anything, out of this, we could learn more about it.
It's at this point, one of the common folk actually come up to you, and they look quite injured. They actually have a stab wound in their abdomen on the left side they're kind of holding. It doesn't look grievous, but it is a bleeding wound that they're holding. Oh, I'm glad I found you. That creature, it's attacking down in the slums. It actually saved me, quite honestly. I was being mugged, but then it whatever happened to my mugger, I don't know. It seemed to have taken him.
It saved you?
I think. At least I'm not dead because of it, and I have my money. But and it could have been earlier about it, because it hurts.
Lead us.
Well, let's get this wound patched up first.
Unfortunately, I do not know any healing magic. I'm sorry. And she kind of just like smiles.
Does anyone else know any healing? Do I know
I
any healing?
I think I'm the only one that's got any healing.
Yeah, our healer's kind of
Yeah, Sakira has 0 healing spells at all.
Of course, Bezelk, but I don't want to lose the sense like we've already done several times. She'll use one of her healing light dice, healing for 4.
Sure, and that closes up the wound. There's still some scarring, but it's pretty much taken care of. That's a lot better. I appreciate it.
okay. No, lead us. Where was it?
Sure. Come, follow me. Man, y'all are a real reliable bunch. I tell you what, saving the city than saving my hide. I can't ask y'all for much more. And as this, he rambles on about his life story and how y'all were just so great to this city, as he takes y'all down to the slum area. Do y'all want to take like a 5-minute break, pee break, all that, real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll give me a
Okay.
drinky.
Yeah, let's do that real quick while Don's gone, and then we'll come back. All right. So he leads you all down into the slums, which is kind of near the dock. It's about if you're looking at the world map, I believe yeah. It's kind of on the right side of the map where there's all those trees and houses. They're not really. It's very like polluted looking land. That's like where a lot of people have dumped their waste. You find he brings you to an alleyway, and he points down it. Yeah, I just stopped off to take a leak down there and next to the drain, and then next thing I know, I'm being mugged. But right in the middle of it, I had a knife stabbed into me. He was holding me by my throat, and then next thing he's gone, and I hear screaming in the distance. And well, I thought it's best to bring it to y'all since you seem to handle most of the problems around here.
Thank you. Zook will kind of sniff around to see if he can smell anything off about it other than what would be muggers. Probably something more animalistic smelling.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a survival perception roll. Either of those. And if anybody'd like to help him, go ahead.
You said perception?
Yeah, you can roll perception if you'd like. Just kind of get a whole investigation going on here.
Ooh. That'd be a straight 15 because she has nothing in modifiers for perception.
Okay. So, with that survival check, you definitely notice there was the signs of a scuffle here, with the overturned boxes and crates, as well as the splattering of blood. There was definitely a scuffle going on. It seems that you also pick up on that familiar, unknown, smelly smell, and it seems to be leading towards the sewer grate in front of you, where as with this high check, you do actually notice there seems to be some kind of slime on it. It's translucent, but almost has was it an iridescent kind of rainbow sheen to it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Stupid!
Fucking ooze coming off the grate here, yeah.
Whatever this thing is, I think it might be in the sewers.
How delightful.
Well, we wanted to take care of it. Should we go hunting?
I'm always down for a good hunt.
Hunting we will go, hunting we will go.
She says, don't worry, none of us died in the last chapter of my book, so I have high hopes.
I have never heard you say kinder words to me.
All right. Well, as the party lifts up this grate, I wouldn't say it takes much effort with Bazilk's kind of bestial strength. It's lifted, and everybody heads their way down the ladder into the sewer. It's not a very long trek down. I'd say you only head kind of like one floor down below the street, maybe about 10 feet down. You instantly hear the scurrying of rats squeaking and making their way away from you. And the smell of the pungent sewer is very obvious.
Alright. As in probably with the smell of the sewer, I don't have much sense of smell of where this creature is.
No, there is a lot of interference and scent, mainly that of shit, filling your nostrils.
Take a deep breath. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, you just hear.
Yeah, just oh god.
My nose is useless down here.
Is it a bunch of branching paths or is it a single?
There are branching paths, but there seems to be a main line that heads underneath the main thoroughfares of the city.
Do we see this slimy goo anywhere on like a side, like wall or anything?
You do notice some of the goo on some of the pipe work, as well as some of the floor, like the cobble cement kind of floor of the sewer. It seems to be heading in. It seems to be heading in the northern direction.
Let's follow its slimy tracks.
And that you do. Everybody give me a group investigation roll just to kind of see how well we're tracking through the sewers and making sure we don't get lost here.
So,
Oh wow, good rolls. Damn.
Ends up in another city? What the fuck happened? I don't even know this name.
Yeah, those are all great rolls. Yeah, so you're all able to follow the slime. There are some points where it disappears, but then reappears a few feet later. You all start to get the feeling, especially you, Acteza, having the highest roll, and you too, Bazelk. It almost feels as if you're heading back towards the mansion in a way, at least towards the noble district as you make your way up through the sewers. The slime gets more and more abundant, and actually what you'll notice is the sewers look a little more cleaner up in this direction, especially being towards the noble district. The smell is not as foul and pungent as it once was. Before long, you get closer towards the castle and towards where your mansion is, and the sewers are actually quite empty. There's not much sewage to be found here. It's as if it's just been picked clean.
Interesting.
The slime continues further on through this area. You actually, at this point, hear what sounds like a man screaming.
Oh. That sounds like a good sign that we are heading in the right direction.
And it is a quite blood-curdling scream.
Does it sound human or tiefling? Can we tell?
Perception check?
That better be fucking high.
Yeah.
Tiefling's voice box actually has this subtle roughness that you can just barely pick up on the echo.
That's, again, she's got a 0 modifier, so that's a straight 19.
Oh,
As your coincidence enough, the faint brimstone air in the voice gives it that little bit of rasp on the end of their words, and you can hear just a little tinge of that.
So it sounds tiefling to her?
Sounds tiefling.
Yeah, it's Sakira's hauling ass.
Okay, yeah, you haul ass following this slime before you come up to, well, what only you can try to explain to yourself is a door. but instead of a door, it's more of a sphincter.
I cast Eldritch Blast.
Sure, roll damage.
Sticks her hand out and just Eldritch Blast leaves and hits it, causing 11 damage.
Yeah, it hits the
It's
membrane
damaging.
of this like sphincter-like door as it the flesh kind of what is it, reverberates back and forth from the blast. You leave a singe mark kind of towards the center. And due to the pain, the sphincter just relents and opens up.
Sakira knows how to get those sphincters open.
It's like, oh, you have no idea. She kind of winks at you. And proceeds through the sphincter.
Zelk shall follow.
Give me just a moment. Well, I can't find a good image to represent what I'm kind of looking for. But as you enter through this part of the sewer, the walls that were stone are kind of covered in this fleshy sinew layer on top of it. It still holds the same form of it's a octagon, or not an octagon, but like a hexagon type shape. So you have the top angled down, side walls angled down, and then the bottom is where the sewage is. So there's like kind of like a middle indent where the sewage flows, and then on the side are the sidewalks you've been walking on. Instead of all that, it's now covered in this flesh and sinew outline. As you walk in, there's a tunnel or a pipe that heads to the left, another pipe that the rest of the pipe that keeps heading forward into another sphincter. But as you enter, you hear a distinct scream coming from the left.
To the left we go.
Sakira will continue to head towards the screaming.
Okay. As you all turn this corner, you are presented face to face with a mind flayer type being who is currently in the process of devouring this tiefling's brain, as you just hear the crack of a skull and the of tentacles. It looks directly at you as it's sucking out the brain and kind of chewing on it, the spinal cord.
What the fuck is that thing?
It ate the tiefling?
It ate the tiefling's brain. And Sentinel, can we get your character described?
Absolutely.
What
Oh,
the fuck?
Sentinel, like, what you guys see is a good estimate of a 10-foot tall mind flayer with about 5-foot long tentacles. They're wrapped around the tiefling's arms. Like the two outer ones are wrapped around his arms and hands, holding him up, as the front two are wrapped around his chin, his head, and then wraps around his shoulders. As she kind of looks up and kind of like all of her tentacles let go, as you hear it like a loud pop as his body just falls slump, and you see some like brine drool coming off of her tentacles, and she just stares at you guys blankly and goes, as your guys' minds ring with a weird kind of fuzzy feeling, and she goes, "Salutation! You must be the heroes."
Sakira cast hold person.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna do things. That's fine. That's fine.
Zelk immediately draws his bow.
That'd be a wisdom saving throw of 15, please.
Technically, that wouldn't work on a real mind flayer, but in this situation, I'll allow it.
Does 17 beat it?
15. Yeah, you beat it.
And may I just respond from that, DM?
Yeah, yeah. Floor is y'all's. Do whatever.
As she kind of feels like that spell, you kind of see like a psychic shield kind of explode from her, and she goes, hold up, I think we all have a misunderstanding. No? How about before we do all of this as it would seem like a two-handed mace to you guys, but for her and how big her hands are, a single-handed mace flies into her right hand as almost a body-sized shield flies into her left one. It's kind of like a tower. I'll post a picture of her right now. And she goes, let's talk before we get to violence. Communication. You are capable of that, yes?
What I know is that you just ate one of my people.
One of your people who was mugging another. And I stopped the mugging and fed myself on a delicious... You hear like some happy like clicking? Brain.
How do you explain the others that you've taken?
All of them, I promise. But I've been looking to talk to you because you, as she points over to you, Bizlik, she's like, you must be Bizlik. And you must be Acteza, Rayla, and the nudist Sakira, who likes to write a lot. Yes. I've been looking to find the best way to talk to you, and I guess this worked.
As that's the hand is pointed out to you, the fingers are quite long and come to a point. It is quite jarring for you to all be talked in this way telepathically. It echoes in your mind, and as surreal as your thoughts are, this voice in your head is surreal, almost as if you're hearing voices.
Draws his bow back as far as he can, just ready to fire. You're going to explain why you're here and how you know us right now.
Yeah, Sakira also summons her Doomblade to her side.
Should we get a reaction from Acteza and
There's...
Rayla?
I swear to God, we never have anything fucking easy.
Yeah, what is Rayla thinking in this moment, seeing this creature?
Rayla's just kind of standing back, but she'll pull out her daggers to have them ready.
Okay.
Well, obviously you have our attention, so...
Perfect. As long as things do not get any more violent, I won't have to react with force. Let's not, Well, let's go. You know what? I think this would just be easier, as she just kind of puts her mace up as her gloved index finger touches the temple of her head, as you guys all see a flashback of her working on inside of a mind flayer colony, going about her business, as she starts to experience a type of like static as her hands go up to her brain and there's a snap. And from what you guys can feel, it feels like she's been disconnected. You guys see her quickly grabbing things and escaping this nautiloid. Where she escaped to was a small meteorite that she could sense a presence from the shielding around it. She arrived on the shard as you guys were escaping it. She found herself time during the chaos of the war and the fighting. She slips out and goes into the sewers within the palace. And she shows you all of her past mills, muggers, rapists, a few of them. And one of them, you guys see that she took one hostage and basically kind of put him in like almost like a cocoon inside his lair as she's making it. And it leads up to kind of to this moment here as she drops the flashback and goes, "My story, yours."
As she shows you this story, just before the connection in this memory was severed, your minds are in excruciating pain, as you can feel an elder brain commanding you to work, consume, work, grow, perform tasks, move, conserve energy. Before the connection is finally broken, this echoing of cacophony of thousands of minds stops in an instant.
What the fuck was that?
And the reason why I know who you all are, I promise I have not delved in your brains, says slight clicking noises can be heard as her 5-foot tentacles kind of move a little bit. As succulent as it would be. Can't help myself, sorry. I live under your manor. I was trying to find intel on you and to find a way to talk to you creatures who somehow are able to go into teleport from great dimensions from here about a very serious matter, and that I am a friend.
It's at this moment you can all realize there are some, not exactly makeshift vents, but some were made by what you can assume to be Sentinel that lead up into underneath the floorboards of the mansion, as you can hear Skexel talking to one of the kobolds. No, this displeases Skexel. That's not how you dust. Let Skexel show you.
I really hate to burst your bubble, whoever you are.
Sentinel. My name is Sentinel.
Right. But I don't make a habit of being friends with creatures who eat people.
I mean, maybe I know it's because I look weird to you, as I am actually highly evolved, but we'll get into the subtle details. You seem to be very close to the sleeping dragon up top. And I presume, she makes another clicking noise, it has eaten people.
Yes, but not my people.
I mean, okay, sure. Next time I hear someone being mugged for their change, just because they're your people, I'll let them go. How about that? So they can continue upon their crimes. I mean, you're heroes. You must have something between your ears, no?
She was actually, I would much rather you leave them alone and leave them to me.
I will. You're not killing innocent people. Unless you attack me. You attack me, I'm going to defend myself. I'm sorry.
How long have you been underneath here?
Has it been two rotations? 2 rotations, I presume. 2 rotations.
Yeah, it's about 5 days.
I'm losing track of time, possibly. Cannot see your solar star from here very well, so it's hard to tell. Maybe more. Possibly.
So...
What is your objective to get out of us?
Objective. See, I like you. You're thinking about the bigger picture, and I appreciate that as she kind of lets go of both her shield and mace as it floats to her sides. Now, as much as any one of you can understandably be scared of an elder brain and a mind flayer colony, one that I come from was quite large in proportion, about 6,000 of us with an elder brain. I'm here to warn you Heroes, I'm here to warn you. Something has infected the Elder Brain. And the commands were not for a grand design, which I personally have no interest in. It's been nice being my own being again. A few more happy clicks. But the orders that were being given were not parts of the grand design. It was an armada forming and throwing us like lesser creatures into battle. Fodder, as you would call it. And it's on its way to this particular dot of dirt in the cosmos.
And we come and play.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I personally will not get caught back up in being a hive mind. But sure, do nothing. Warn no one. And when this contaminated Elder Brain comes with an armada, I don't know. I guess you could just sit there and just wait till your succulent flesh orbs inside your mind is devoured. But that is up to you. Now, I thought you'd be the people to come to. Or maybe, as she kind of directs her black... you can't even see her eyes because of her armor. She kind of just looks over to Acteza and goes, I'm guessing you're the leader, though?
We're more of a democracy, if anything.
Mm.
But
Okay, how about this? Higher intelligence. Do you understand what I'm saying?
as far as the particulars, no. You're referencing things that aren't common on knowledge on this
Oh.
plane of existence. So, as far as whatever this Elder Brain is, obviously I assume it's a threat, but it's out of our capacity at the moment. We can warn people, but being able to do anything about it is a different story. We'll just add it to the list of random bullshit that we can't deal with at the moment. Because we've got a elder god, or at least a follower of an elder god that's been set loose, roaming with, that's hell-bent on setting off chaos on this plane.
I
A
heard
dragon.
you guys talk about that.
And a dragon soul that's currently missing, so I don't, as far as the priorities go, I don't really think this one's at a level that we can do anything about at the moment.
That is a very great perspective to look at. I have heard of all the troubles you guys have had. The good news, it will take it maybe a few years to get here. I'm coming to warn you now that it's coming. And I'm willing to help. And from what I've contelled, you are heroes. This city and you will be affected when it does come. Just understand that this will be war. An Elder Brain is one of the strongest things. One of the strongest things in the mortal plane. In any mortal plane. And the Mind Flayers and my people, what I am now, well, it's all a hive mind. They all have their objectives, and they will fulfill them to the very cost of their lives. And there are thousands coming. And Mind Flayers, I guess it must be rare in your world, is surprised you're not. Felt like we're more plague on things than I realize. Can kill quite a lot of people very easily. It won't be just a 1 versus 1. If you're normal soldiers, it would take maybe 20 or more to fight a single Mind Flayer.
Well, in the meantime, does seem like we have time. Let's put that on the back burner of one of our many objectives, whether we have to complete. God, it just keeps getting worse and worse.
She kind of eyes, after he says that, she eyes the group and goes, so, is tensions lower or are they heightening? She
Wait.
clicks.
Are you the thing that came out of Ella LaCroix's death?
I heard you talk about her previous, but no, I am not. No.
Do you, by chance, know what that thing could be?
I mean, if you wish to open your mind to me so I can view, sure, maybe I could give a crack at it, as long as tension's lower.
And Sakira will drop her Doomblade, and she'll kind of just like bend forward, like offering her head, titties jiggling.
She kind of makes a few clicks and squills as she kind of relives that whole memory of that fight and what that person kind of means to you. It's almost like you feel like a gentle comb going over your brain. Fingers, not comb. Her fingers. And she kind of just touches the part where that memory is.
I'll say the way you do this is you literally wrap your tentacles around the head, almost to consume her in the same way to consume a person's brain.
Oh God. Okay, I'm great with that. Yeah, you feel my tentacles gently, and again, they're 5 feet long, gently wrapping around your entire upper torso, but gently, not like a full restraint.
As the tips of some caress the inner part of your ear to fully connect to your mind. As make me an intelligence saving throw just to see how bad this experience hits you, Sakira.
Oh Jesus!
I felt like Sakira would
I know, right?
Oh, it landed on a 17, then rolled to a 10.
Oh,
Yeah, you are. This is during the moment you don't have control to react against her. You've let your guard down, and she is taking full control of that. But this is definitely giving you a headache as she is flooding every orifice of your mind. Yes, you relive the events of that battle as if you were there, feeling every emotion of Sakira's brain. And as I say this brain feels delectable. It's very well, for as you have tasted tieflings before, the brimstone, smoky flavor of its sinews and its synapses are quite remarkable. It's almost as if you're eating barbecue.
And
It is
she
a
just,
very well designed brain, but you relent during this time.
she relents as she also feels how much her hypothalamus is brimming from all the lovemaking she's been making. As she gently lets go and unwraps you, as you got like some type of, it's their version of saliva kind of covering your ear and your bottom like jawline, and she goes, that the Eldritch gods are involved. My people are somewhat tied. And she kind of floats away from you, back to a safer distance.
Make me either let's go history or religion check, Sentinel.
Sure.
Did you add yourself to the campaign yet?
Doing it now. Let's see here. Okay, view. What did you want me to roll?
Either religion or
History?
history, yeah.
Sure. Let me see here. We'll go with history. 22.
Damn. Yeah, as you peer into your own mind and its transcendence, you believing in the knowledge you hold, you delve into your past memories, And before the break had occurred, regaining your own free will and sentience, basically, you do remember the mention of the yellow one, or the robed one, among other mind flayers. As for what that means, you're unaware, but it does seem to correlate with this creature they had faced off against.
Her hands kind of go behind her back as she just floats there. Her long tentacles kind of moving back and forth. And she kind of thinks to herself and goes, yes, the robed one. Have heard of this one. Seen some visages of this one related to the Eldritch Gods. It is.
Hopefully, if we're so lucky, then this robed one, that as you called it, I wonder if it's what's the cause of the, what do you say, infection?
More like contamination. And no,
No.
I don't know what it is. But it is of nothing of any patron or godly presence or eldritch, or fiendish or devil that I'm aware of.
Well, at least that's a little more information than what we had before.
Actually, I will say, given that since your roll was higher than a 20, you do feel it's not a direct connection, but you feel a connection between the two.
And she kind of turns and starts to float away. She goes, oh. But maybe there is a slight connection, possibly. We both may be on a similar path that is now colliding within the cosmos of time. And I suggest a partnership. As she kind of floats away from the tunnel into like her lair, if you guys so choose to follow.
Zelk follows.
I guess we're moving and talking.
Yes, yes.
Seems like it.
When you guys walk in, you guys see that Mind Flayer kind of visage just covering this whole sewer, but it's still very tidy and neat. And it looks to be like, you guys know Aliens when like someone's like wrapped up in the wall in Aliens?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that. He's wrapped up in this visage, but it looks like a thug of some sort is kind of just like hanging from the wall drooling.
Is he tiefling or human?
DM?
Let me flip a coin. Call it.
Heads.
Heads.
That's.
It is a tiefling.
It is a tiefling. How ruggish does he look? Very thuggish?
Very thuggish. Scarred all over.
Eye patch and all.
Yeah, it definitely looks like looks like a nefarious type.
Sakira's aura changes to like a crimson red, and she points at this one and goes, "And what did this one do?"
This one attempted to rape a child, as her hands kind of, almost like she's molding him, like without touching him, as the visage starts to kind of come off as he kind of glides onto his knees. I need a thrall to handle my things, and I thought that would be a fitting punishment. Isn't that right, little one? That she kind of like almost slap. She actually does like slap, like pet on the head. You can see that her hand. How big is this tiefling?
I'd say about 6 feet tall. More athletic build.
You could just tell from her hand size just how much bigger she is, as it almost covers his whole head.
Oh yeah.
You said this one attempted to rape a child.
A child, yes. In the slums, a lot of crime happens there. Poverty and poor.
She says, "Well, that is definitely not who I want to represent us as a people, and she kicks this tiefling in the crotch and gives you your blessing.
She kind of just looks at that action, looks at you, and goes, part of my old self can sympathize. Part of who I am now saw no point. But thank you.
Yeah, your thrall sends out emotions of pain towards you.
Just whimper, and she kind of looks at the group. So, partnership?
I'd say temporarily. What about the rest of you?
Ah, what the hell? What's another miscellaneous person that we know little to nothing about joining the party?
This will definitely make for an interesting chapter, but I agree temporarily. And if you so choose to continue to eat my people, as long as they are as bad as this one, then we'll call it justice.
Noted. And if it makes you feel better, I could just introduce you to all of my memories. And that would make you more comfortable.
Because no, it's... She kind of like remembers what it was like to have you in her brain. She's like, that's quite alright.
And I will take Sakira's word for it, seeing as she tends to enjoy things of the painful nature, and if she wasn't a fan, I think I'll defer.
If Sakira doesn't enjoy it, then that's definitely not something I want to be a part of.
She kind of looks at you. Okay.
She's like, listen, there are plenty of things that I don't enjoy. And she points to the gaping wound on her chest that's trying to heal up. Like, this wasn't enjoyable.
She kind of looks at you guys and looks at her and goes, is she the person that tells you what it does feel good, or confused by your socials?
As she kind of eyeballs like all of your tentacles, she goes, I will definitely let you know when it's enjoyable.
Well, there's your chapter. Got it.
Oh,
She just kind of like makes a click at that comment and goes, well, that's fine. Just to give you an idea, I'm not from this world, not from your universe. Does your species internet, do you understand what a universe is? Let me actually ask the level of your intelligence of your world.
I mean, we did go to a completely different plane as our home base until it imploded.
As long as you understand what it was, then we're great. So, I am from a planet of beastmen. I was once a minotaur. I was a warrior for my tribe and the guardian of our leader, our shaman. I was given the rank and honor of the Sentinel during a war with an insect-based species that was attempting to take over the planet. My people, which was the strongest and most controlled people, took the front lines and fought them. And when we were having a very deciding battle in the war, a armada of Nautiloids came and basically kidnapped all of us and turned them into mind flayers. And for the past year's worth of time of 2 solar cycles, I spent as a mind flayer in the hive mind until recently now. And the identity I've chosen for myself, as I've said to you, is Sentinel.
You see Zell kind of perk up at the mention of Beastmen. A planet of Beastmen? Not hunted or killed for sport?
Of course not. We were... The voice in your head almost changes to almost like a a minotaur kind of sounding voice. Of course not. We were the strongest. We were the most honorable of our god.
That's refreshing.
If you ever wish to partake of my memories, I could show you that world.
Let me get more comfortable with you first. Then I might take you up on that offer.
She clicks
Whoa.
again.
You don't want those tentacles fingering your brain?
I don't think I want anything fingering my brain in the meantime.
Tentacle hentai.
Well, I'm so glad we all met. And I can already tell that you're still very uneasy being in my home. I will clearly stay here. Trying to go on the main streets currently is not the best option. But maybe we could create a opening for me to come into the house from here later on if you feel comfortable. But you can just talk to the vents and, well, I am here. And she just kind of floats there looking down at you guys.
Talk to you later, yes. We do have our own things to attend to.
She nods.
Yeah, as pleasant as she's kind of like looking around as this has been. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Understandable. Oh. Then I apologize if this brings any upsetting emotions, but I am sorry for your loss. And she bows her head to you, Acteza.
That's only temporary.
Only temporary.
Lost, but not gone.
If we do partner up, I will help you if you so choose.
I will say that is fitting because, at least from my canon, dragons are of a superior species for mind flayers.
Yep.
Or at least they view them as.
High respect. And don't worry about my door, I can fix that.
You're talking about the asshole.
You are of a lesser intelligence, I now see. Alright, great. Well, this was wonderful. But you're all standing here, and maybe just a few visitations to get comfortable. And Sakira, you just feel yourself get kind of lifted and kind of like gently, like you're kind of like drifting in the wind, kind of pushed through the tunnel.
And as you all leave, the sphincter closes behind you. We'll just keep going with sphincter unless y'all want to change it out with flesh door.
It's what it's called, and that still sounds like a speaker.
Yeah, basically.
Flesh door. I've got to
As you
remember
all
that one.
find your way, as you all find your way to the nearest sewer exit, it's actually only about 15 feet down from the original opening to this, well, Sentinel's lair. As you go out to the street, you're actually on the side of the mansion. Nobody has noticed you come out from there. What are you all doing to end this day, basically?
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I am going to rinse just all of it off. Dear God.
Yeah, it was quite fucking disgusting, honestly.
Honest to God, I don't know what was worse. The flesh fucking walls or the actual sewer.
The
As,
flesh
like-
Like I just I don't know if this will ever come off.
As you see, like, Sakira, like, reach up to her head and kind of, like, massage her temple, she's like, trust me, the sewers were better.
It's like a little bit of goop drips off her chin.
No, out of her ear.
It's like, well, if anybody would care to join me in Delacroix's personal chamber, she has a rather nice bath up there.
Well, how clean
Nobody
is that?
takes up your offer.
I was gonna say,
Nobody.
how clean is it after you used it last?
She's like, oh, honey, we didn't use the bathtub. Just the bed, the stairs, the couch.
Yeah, I can vouch for that much.
On top of the dresser. From the chandelier.
You guys didn't clean up anything. I tried
Well-
finding you earlier. It was honestly, I take the flesh all over what happened in that bedroom.
That's fair. That's honestly fair.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess it's decided. Definitely not there then.
Alright, you all go your separate ways to take baths. The mansion, I'm gonna say the mansion has about 6 rooms, each with their own fine baths. They have both a shower and tub feature, made of nice marbled, elegant marble for both, as well as clear glass for the shower. Whatever you do so choose is more than enough with some Brillo scrubbing to get the slime and the feel and the stench off of you.
I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Zilk.
It's definitely gonna be like trying to scrub as much of the almost hours of scrubbing the slime and gunk out of the fur that shows up on him.
Yeah, after about 10, 15 minutes, you've clearly scrubbed it out, but it is not enough. You just keep going for an extra 30 minutes before you finally feel as if you've gotten every molecule of it out of you.
Sakira's gonna finish up her bath, and when she like gets up and out of the tub, like she doesn't even want a towel to touch her. She'll air dry,
Oh my god.
but
Oh
she wants.
God, that's so cold.
She's going to. She's been a slave her entire life. Like she's a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your
she-
tiefling, you kind of radiate some steam.
Yeah.
Headlights are definitely on though.
Oh my God.
She accidentally brushes up some against a pane of glass, and you just hear. After that. She's going to head down to where Zinrot is laying,
Okay.
and when she gets down there, like she's just gonna kind of like perch herself on the ground, as close as she can get, with a fresh notebook and a quill, and she is going to start writing out like scriptures for Zinrot and her mother.
Oh, okay.
Aww. I'll say Sentinel is gonna start working on her. Basically, in the middle of her lair is like a sewer drainage that's like a tunnel going straight down. But she basically closed off the bottom end and cleaned it out, and she's currently working on making a brine pool for her to sleep and bathe in.
Gross.
Okay. Yeah,
Refreshing.
I'd say you're able to easily clear away all the filth and grime and sewage. Like you're, and when I say clear, you're basically eradicating all the fecal matter and any like. Imagine when the sewer was first created, it had been so untouched, just pure stone, very clean. You could eat off the floor. That's the point you're kind of cleaning it to, as you're mind blasting all of
I
the
was
like
just about to say that
debris,
too. Yeah.
as you're mind blasting all the debris away. Yeah, and using whatever biomass there is in it, purifying it into the flesh, the mold.
Oh, she'll grab her extra biomass from. She'll actually use the guy the tiefling she just ate, and start unraveling his entire being into fleshy goodness.
And you all
Okay.
think Sakira's sex juices are gross.
He's about to get.
No, just wait. I'm about to flex some shit. So as you turn this body into the brine pool, using its lungs and intestinal lining to protect itself from the acidic bile, you coat the inner layer with the layer of both the stomach and the intestines, stretching them out to their cellular limit, making a pool very comfortable for not only yourself, but could fit at least one or two other people in it.
Oh, okay, cool.
You keep intact the organs and the cellular organism of the stomach, keeping each cell alive to both produce the acid and bile needed, keeping the gallbladder intact. You meticulously mold these organs into the function they would need for your necessity. The acid dull enough to clean off your entire body down to the atom, but not strong enough to actually harm you in any way.
Oh yeah, she's basically curling up inside of it and butt naked. She has all of her stuff like neatly folded and hanging up on different types of things. As she's basically sleeping in the bottom of this brine pool.
Yeah, you have like a spine coat rack, or like a
yes,
spine like
she
clothes hanger.
she actually uses that tiefling's bones and rearranges it into like these little it rearranges its spine and has it like imprinted into the fleshy wall, and using the vertebrae as coat racks and stuff.
Now, I will say it's not as crude as some other, like, it's not as crude as you might imagine it. They are actually well fabricated into actual, like, hanging. Unless you want it that way, but in my mind, mind flayers are not that crude with their design.
She is not. She's using her mind for all of this, or telekinesis for all of it.
The outside of that tub actually hardens into a stony-like carapace that surrounds the tub in a very nice, elegant design, leading down to tendrils that then cover the floor, heading out in all directions in a symmetrical pattern. The bones that you have now inlaid into the wall do actually refine themselves with your touches and claws. You refine them into actually nice, spiraling, ornate coat racks and kind of hooks for your things. Even though the walls were made of flesh, they weren't like veiny looking. They just were like fleshy substance that had been made into the wall. Maybe some veins intact, but only to illustrate the crown and base of the floor.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, and she's gonna sleep for her 4 hours inside the.
So it's not as bad as you might imagine it. The smell might still be there, and it still is flesh, but it's made so peculiarly into what you would imagine like a royal chamber to look like, but it's just made of flesh.
I like that. That's really cool, actually.
If there's nothing else, I believe we will all take our rest in our individual beds or pools after taking long and very much needed scrub down soaks. I think this is where we will end the session as you all wake up into the morning suddenly to the blaring of war horns.